Hello and welcome. We've returned from the front nine for our Flexline media coverage with lead card back nine action. This tournament is sponsored by Hey Bro, and the coverage is thanks to RPM Discs. I'm Jeremy, and I'm in the booth joined with...
And I'm Ashton, back for the back nine.
Yeah, look at those crosses. Rip Jeremy.
There's a familiar name in there. 13, eh?
Yeah, that was tough.
Awesome gallery for the final nine there. And here are our players. Drew Gibson with a healthy lead in first at 32 under. Jacko in second with 17 under. Closely followed by...
Really a battle for second by Joe on 16. Trailed by Jay on 9.
Yeah, like you said, definitely more of a battle for the lower spots on the podium at the moment. But that's all good. We'll see how it goes.
Our lead card had a pretty good front nine, so if you haven't checked that out, go back and watch that before you watch this.
So we're back on hole 10, the massive 330 metre par 5. You're just looking to get safe off the tee and not put yourself behind one of these hedges, because if you don't have a run up, you're probably not getting there for a bird.
Yeah, hopefully our lead cutter crushes here will make this hole look not so daunting. With the distance that Drew and Joe and Jacko and Jay have.
Yeah, all these lads will be looking to take a bird here.
Drew with his Halo Jumpman Stamp Destroyer, a very well known disc.
Yeah, I'm glad we had some monster holes in this course so that we can watch him unleash. It's pretty impressive.
That must have definitely factored into the design when they knew Drew was coming. But also allowing players like Joe to open up. Joe's throwing bombs, man. He's not that far behind Drew. He's throwing 140, 145. He's up there.
A little bit of a road skip, jump back and bounce there. It's pretty lucky.
I think of our lead card, Jay probably doesn't have the biggest arm, but he definitely makes up for in consistency. As I say that he throws out of bounds, but a rare mistake there from Jay.
This is looking beautiful from Jacko. Hopefully it just... there's those hedges. That's really the main hazard on this hole, apart from the road, is just pinching yourself in a hedge.
Yeah, really across the whole course. These trees aren't that high, so you can throw spike hyzers and thumbers and tomahawks over most of them, but if you land in a bad spot, you're really going to cut yourself off.
Jay pushing up to the chase card there. It's a massive shot from where he was.
Big patent pending from Jacko.
Well, hopefully this one flexes out in time. Maybe too early.
Yeah, there's a row of guardian trees on the left that split the fairway more or less halfway, and he looks like he's parked right behind it.
Oh, Drew ripping on the same disc again. Got a massive full flight out of it. He's looking like he's going to skip in around pin high.
Turns the cameraman around.
Not quite pin high.
I thought he might be going for the eagle there. He was 8 down through the front 9, so maybe he is...
Trying to push it a wee bit.
Yeah, trying to look for that eagle opportunity. There's a few out there, especially 18.
Yeah, we know he can get 18 as well. We saw him lay up for the birdie in round 1, so...
Yeah, he was like 10 or 15 long in round 1.
Definitely doable. It's unlucky from Jacko catching that one tree in his line. Now he's left with a blind Annie. Similar to his second shot, but he's got a bit more on it this time.
It's good trust there from Jacko. Knowing his discs. Should have a relatively easy up and down. Jay's in a nice spot here. Enough width for the hyzer approach.
Looks like a good shot, but he's got his OB stroke in there, so luckily he's put it right in the circle.
Joe's down there. Is this his third?
I think it is.
Man, he bombs. We have a nice putt look there for bird. Just run it, Drew. Just do it.
Yeah, what water?
Oh, yeah, of course he does.
And
he gets away with it.
Yeah, that's pretty lucky, honestly. That water comes up pretty quickly.
Again, shout out to Dwan there in the background for spotting all weekend, Saturday and Sunday, spotting for all cards. Did a really good job.
Yeah, pretty valuable on some of those holes out there.
Nice, smooth par putt. Good save there from Jay.
Yeah, from going OB pretty early, that's a great par. Jacko putting from about as level to this basket as you can get.
Yeah, it's not a bad bogey from Jacko. It's played second hardest overall over the weekend. This round coming in at 1.37 over par. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's dropping a stroke to Joe there though, so they're all tied up at the moment.
Making that battle for second quite exciting.
Yo, nice casual putt from Drew.
Drew has now more than doubled their scores, which is nuts.
Yep, he's just cruising. Also, Joe taking a stroke with the par there. He'll be looking to continue chipping into that score. Hole 11, 70 metre island. Pretty simple for these boys. Just looking to make the island and then nice circle one putt. The wind can come into play, but it looks like it's not too bad this round, so hopefully they can all get him bounced.
I'm going to go out there and say this hole shouldn't be a problem for our lead card.
You wouldn't think so, the way they're scoring. Yeah, there's a park job from Drew.
Wind's starting to get up a little bit more, increase throughout the round, so these back 9 holes, it's going to get a little bit windier.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a wind for the simple hyzer though. I think Joe and Jay both throwing a zone, so just an overstable approach, get pushed down into the green.
Little sawn off that one, but it'll hold on. Also got a Kia out here for Jacko. Nice theme of overstable discs, controlling the distance and speed. Our lead card doing pretty well off the tee there. As you should. Hole 11's really a must get. These guys will all be looking to pick this one up for sure.
Cool, and there's a good start to our what's looking like a star frame for the lead card. I think everyone else is quite close.
Little headwind putt here for Joe. No problem. Should be light work for Jacko. Nice putt. That'll be a star frame coming right up for our lead card.
Assuming Drew makes this one.
I'll take that bet.
Yep, there he goes. Starting off his back 9 with another 2 birdies, leading the charge.
Back down to the graveyard hole 12, 120 metre, par 3. Got hazard road and hazard grass out to the right, so you've got to be left of the road to be in bounds. Again, playing a bit easier than last year where it was all OB. And if you look where the basket is to the left, and if you go back into that oblivion of bushes, that's where the basket was last year.
Yeah, no, good change to the course, but the hole's still playing for tied second hardest for MPO at 0.59 over par, so it's no easy get.
Even Drew leaving it a bit short. It's not often a sentence that you relate to Drew Gibson.
Another thing that can catch you out on this hole is that lamppost to the right of the tee pad is kind of in the perfect spot for your hyzer line, and it gets a lot wider on tournament day. I don't think anyone even thinks about it in practice, but quite a few people end up absolutely squaring it.
I didn't actually hear or see of anyone hitting it, but it's definitely in your head off the tee for sure.
Yeah, I might have seen a couple.
Yeah, we don't talk about that lamppost. It's the reason for my cross.
This is looking great from Jacko. Has it got the distance? Not quite. He's a little bit pinched, but he'll have a look for the birdie at least. It's a pretty safe green, this one.
Joe running it for par from the hazard. It's going to be an unfortunate bogey, but that wind getting the better of him off the tee.
So he's likely giving one back to Jacko here. Just the one, though.
Drew for birdie. Oh. 2 behind perfect now. Gutted.
Yeah. Slow round.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, there's the putting he's known for.
Yeah, well-deserving replay.
Nose up spinner. Straight on the pole.
Yep. Strong side, a little bit low, but hey, it's in, doesn't matter. It's a nice putt there from Jay. Luna's doing work for him.
Well, Joe tapping in a bogey after being out in that hazard. He won't be happy with that one. I would have thought this one would be a pretty stock shot for Joe, but it just shows you that wind can come into play pretty easily.
Yeah, like you mentioned on the feature card, that tail left to right really holding the disc straighter than you think. They don't tend to fade or swing back in as much.
Yeah, we'll get that big road skip. So, hole 13, par 3, 75 metre pyramid hole. Saw a few players struggling with the putting on this last round. Hopefully these boys can put it close and make a birdie. They'll be hoping to get this one in their round, I'd say.
I'd say 13's another hole that it's definitely on the must-get list. The green is definitely where this hole becomes tricky, but off the tee it should just be a wide-open stock hyzer.
Yeah, normally when you see a 75 metre hole with nothing in the way, it's the biggest freebie ever, but this green does really make it a bit trickier than it looks. So you can be inside the circle and have a headwind directly uphill putt, which is not nice. Jacko looks like he's going to that Kia again. Gives himself a tailwind look.
Yeah, another theme of overstable slow discs here, controlling the distance.
Yeah, I think they're really looking to come in on the left side of the pyramid because putting up into a basket that high with the headwind is terrible.
Yep, headwind being the key word there. Our lead card's probably factoring in the wind and wanting that tailwind putt.
There we go, Jacko showing us why they're over there.
You don't want to be exposing the bottom of the disc to that headwind because it can go anywhere. So yeah, really smart from our lead card. Pretty big putt here from Joe.
Yeah, Jacko's put a little bit of a gap between them now, so he'll be wanting to... Yeah, that's unfortunate. So 2 strokes now if he makes that one.
Come on, Jay. Get that stroke. So smooth. That's a turkey.
That's a turkey, and he's coming into the conversation for the podium now as well.
Definitely with a few of these final holes coming down on the back 9 stretch, there's a lot of opportunity for bogeys, and that's a beautiful putt there.
Yeah, that's a clutch putt from Joe. He'll know that there's pressure on from both sides. Drew with the headwind putt we were talking about.
It's probably going to be no problem for him, but for every other mere mortal. Yep, no problem.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive one there.
To control the height and the angle and the lift and the headwind, that's when you're putting 30, 45 degrees uphill, it's a nice putt. Moving on to hole 14, sort of the revamped graveyard hole. 103 metre par 3. Playing slightly uphill. Pretty sure this was range found at about 120 metres, so yeah, definitely playing harder than 103. We've got some flags marking out circle 1 here. These aren't OB or hazard flags, they're just letting you know where circle 1 lies.
Yeah, this was tied with hole 12 for the second hardest, so another tough one for sure. I think all these bushes close to the basket probably play into that. You can be pretty close and have absolutely nothing.
Drew again, leaning on that Halo Destroyer, one of the 3 discs he bought over from the US.
Yeah, doesn't look like it's an issue though. He's been putting it pretty close all day. Nearly hit the basket.
Light work, as you can hear from our fellow cards in the background. Jacko throwing his Tomic Kotari here.
Swinging one out over the trees, but not quite making it. So I think Joe's probably throwing a Halo Destroyer as well. Drew showed us why it was a good choice for the hole.
Get it.
And I was actually there spotting for that throw, and we were picking it to go in when it was about halfway down the fairway. It's an incredible throw.
There's the follow flight. Well deserved from Joe.
Yeah, it's about an inch too low. That would have been a pretty good highlight ace there.
That would have been a huge ace.
Considering how hard the hole was playing, he'd be taking at least a couple, if not 3 strokes on most of the field.
Yeah, coming in on average for our field at 4, so a stroke exactly over par. Man, that ace would have been special. Good par from Jacko. Joe will get one back on him here.
Yeah, it's a bit of a back and forth going between those two for the back 9 so far. Coming down to the last few holes, so let's see who can clutch up.
Drew keeping the green streak going, doing Halo Destroyer things.
Yeah, he's kind of just playing against himself right now, just going for the as close to perfect round as he can get, by the looks of it.
There's the tap in for Joe, and those were the only 2 birdies on hole 14 for the day.
Okay, so hole 15, 165 par 4. This combines the normal Brooker hole 7, but with an extended tee pad, so you're going across the road to this landing zone and then shooting the tunnel to the basket with the road long OB. There is the hyzer line around the right hand side that we saw from Drew in round 1, and he's going for it again.
He's chasing that eagle for sure. That's a boom.
Yeah, just not quite getting over the trees this time, so they're pretty thick actually. I've been in there a few times from the regular course hole 8, so hopefully he can find a way out.
Joe with his casual little 100-metre layup there.
It looks like he might have been looking for the spike option for the second one. I'm not sure. He's kind of in between the 2 zones. Yeah, Jay definitely holding this one right, so he'll be looking at the hyzer over the top.
Might be a little long there for the Paizo. I hope he hasn't pinched himself off too close to those trees. You almost want to land short so you've got the airspace to throw it up and over.
Jacko didn't look happy about that one out of the hand, but he should have a big hyzer from there, I think.
Joe's in a nice spot. He can almost go either way here.
Yeah, he's short enough to... He's given himself some options. Goes with the nice flick down the tunnel. Jacko's going big over the top.
Danny?
He's testing those trees, but he looks like he's clean. That's a great shot from there. Using that left to right to stop him from fading too far out to the OB.
Joe's pretty close to these trees here. Oh, that's a grip lock.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure if that was the idea, but
I think that might be on 16th fairway. It's an old shanky.
You know what? He's still in bounds, and he's still got a stroke to get himself there for the par. So
Drew also in a pretty tough spot, doing well to get over those trees, and
that'll be close to the OB line. There's an OB line sprayed just in there, off the edge of the bushes.
Yeah, and as you can see, your fellow commentators on the tee of the next hole being held up by Jay. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, we're about to tee off, and a cloud breaker just plopped out of the sky in front of us.
We were all having bets on the next hole who it was. What a run. But when you've got a card like this, like honestly, we couldn't pick who it was, and then we saw Jay pop his head out. It's pretty funny.
Unlucky from Joe. If he put that in, then he's tied with Jacko.
Oh,
so both getting really close to the make.
a bit of a slower putt there from Jacko than he's traditionally used to.
Everyone catching a bit of metal on this one. Basket 15 showing no love, eh? Par for Drew.
Just got to shout out my fellow commentator Ashton Clark for the only birdie in MPO for hole 15. You can also share that only birdie with 5 other players from MA1.
Yeah, well done to them. It's a tough one.
Moving on, hole 16, par 5, the island hole, the new graveyard hole maybe. 275, you've got, was it 4 islands? Yeah, that road's about 120 meters to clear it off the tee, so you need an arm. The smart play here is to really just lay up between the islands and take your par, but Bros for Change decided to build a fort in front of the Circle 1 green, so yeah, thanks boys.
Yeah, everyone on this card's got the distance to get to the second island and push for the birdie, but with the scores being pretty close between Jacko and Joe, it's interesting to see what their play is going to be. Drew taking the safe option.
I think if you're going for the birdie here, we worked out going right to the front of the first island and skipping the second was the play. As
Yeah, I didn't get that memo.
No, I didn't either. I just laid up noodle arm things.
Yep,
Good.
that's perfect distance there. They're really just setting up to attack on their second shot, which is, by the sounds of it, the smart play.
Sit down. Yeah, nice.
Just finds the corner. Right, Drew's got his Halo Destroyer out again, so I'd say he's looking to skip the second island.
Yeah, that's a smack.
Where is it? Yep, checks up. Lucky to get no skip there, but by the time it's gone that far, it doesn't have much energy left, eh?
Yeah,
That's an absolute bomb.
He skipped that second island, made it just onto the third. That's a shot. Joe opting to lay up to the end of the second island.
Yeah, so putting it in bounds, he's really saying, are you going to go for it or not, Jacko? Do you want to take another stroke, or are you happy with the one you've got? Looks like he's going for it, potentially. No. That's a safe play. Hopefully checks up just at the end again.
Pushing right to the back of the second island.
Yeah, squeezing all the distance he can out of the islands. Well played so far.
You'll notice a lot of players here going for the forehand, trying to keep that flight plate facing the wind just so it doesn't get under it and swing it out from into the OB. Jay and Joe with 2 really nice forehands. Jacko doesn't throw too many forehands, I've noticed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to matter though. He's playing a pretty smooth round so far. Just finding the centre of each island.
Looks like that trusty Kia again out there for Jacko.
So Drew's got one of the longest upshots into the green you can get. But it looks like he's got it under control.
Sit.
If it can stick.
Sit.
Yeah, that's what that right to left will do to you. Once it gets going, it's pretty tough to check up and bounce.
So after the first round, the TD cleared up the rules and they confirmed that all of the OB space was in fact OB. So the play was play it where you last crossed in bounds. So thanks for clearing that up, guys.
Crossing over the circle there, he'll be looking at about a 9 metre putt. Joe going for the forehand into the green, fighting that wind. He's got a really nice forehand upshot. He looks to go for that pretty often.
I think Joe prefers the forehand upshot. Even if he has the option for the backhand, he'll opt to usually a forehand zone. He's got it on lock.
Yeah.
Drew with the OB stroke still takes the par.
Yeah, it's a great clean-up. To go OB and still take a par on that hole is pretty impressive.
Again, overall, this hole averaging 2 strokes over par at 7.15. That's I'm still saying it should be a par 6.
It's good to have tricky holes out there. I think we need more tough ones on the New Zealand courses for sure.
Definitely. This one does the job, averaging in at the hardest hole of round 3.
Yeah, so when you break it down, it's 5 pretty simple shots, but 5 simple shots in a row in the wind, proving to be pretty tough for the field today. Hole 17, 120 metres. It's pretty wide open. If you've got the distance, you're just looking to put one around the right of that tree in the wind today. Check up into circle 1.
Yeah, this prevailing headwind, the right to left, is really going to come into play. Hopefully our guys get it on hyzer enough and they don't turn it over. You just got to expose that bottom of the disc and get it nice and wide and use it like a sail and do what Drew does and park it.
And or nearly ace it.
Nearly ace it.
It's probably like the 3rd or 4th one he's nearly rung up so far on coverage.
Jacko's probably following that line and that wind read.
This looks like it's coming in pretty nicely. Yep, checks up nice and close. That shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Shot. Jay throwing his DD3.
Great choice.
Controls it, doesn't let it flip over too much.
Looks like he's a bit long right, but he'll have a look at the pin. He might have a tree in the way.
Halo Destroyer out of Joe. He loves this disc. He's been leaning on it for a while. It's a beauty.
And he's pumped it long.
Especially when it goes 135 metres.
In the headwind. Lazy stuff.
Casual. He's really made this tricky for himself, though.
Yeah, it's kind of the only real obstacle around the green, and he's lined it up perfectly with the basket.
Jay's right there with him.
Yeah, tough to keep this one low with the tailwind.
Oh, that's a putt.
He's absolutely jammed it.
Yeah, well-deserving replay once again, showing off Jay's fantastic putting skills.
Really pushed the ceiling there, clipping a leaf, but not enough to slow it down. Get a nice twig there.
Nature appreciation moment putt.
Cool. Great birdie from Drew. Super clean back 9.
37 down. Wow. Really putting on a show here in Christchurch. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, the other boys are taking a lot of birdies as well, but just having those clean scorecards really makes a lot of separation.
Yeah, Jacko really pushing it out there on the last few holes as well, getting a 3-stroke lead over Joe for second place. Onto hole 18, big par 5, 315 metres or just over 1,000 feet. If you're Drew Gibson, you're getting there in 2. But if you're pretty much anyone else, you're probably looking for 3 full power shots. Just keep in mind that road OB by the basket. Don't want to leave it short or land on there. And you don't want to land behind it and putt back onto it. Drew with the Halo Destroyer at calling 4.
Calling 4 for the card in front.
It's because it goes so goddamn far.
Yeah, coming down the stretch to the final hole. A lot of players have finished their rounds, I think, so a few spectators out there as well, you can see.
Yeah, and just remember from last round, that basket's about 135, and Drew sailed past it while calling 4. I think that went further than round 1, maybe 160, 170.
It's a great shape from Jay. We're getting slowed down a little bit at the end there. Couldn't hold the turn, but that's a decent rip.
For most people, those flax bushes where Jay landed is really a good landing zone. They're about 110, 115 off the tee there.
This is looking great from Joe. Yep, centre fairway. He's past the basket.
That's nearing 140. That's a shot from Joe. Yeah, Jacko putting it out there on that Annie. Probably a bit low, but just using that wind to really like glide the disc with the nose down.
Yeah, if he had a bit more height, it would have had time to fight out for sure, but he's still getting way down there.
Jay looking like He's following the line there. Nice and high, nice and annied.
Yeah, he was pinched
Roller?
behind that bush a wee bit, but didn't really matter because the run up for his roller line was on such an angle, and this
Look
is
at the
holding
wind.
perfectly.
The wind's just holding it up, and he's reached the road in 2.
Yep, he could even give it a sneaky run from there.
Man, that must have been a big roller.
Yeah, that's another stock shot from Joe. He's way up by the road as well.
I love watching those big overstable flexes in the tailwind. It's a thing of beauty. Especially when this man does it.
So he'll be looking to go for the basket.
Skip.
And oh, he sneaks it in bounds. Is it
Stay
going
in.
to stay in?
Oh, it's got to be close.
Must be touching the curb. We didn't get a graphic. He's crossed the road in 2 again.
On a 1,000-foot hole.
1,033.
Good eye. That's a shot from Jacko too. Really nice upshot.
Yeah, those 30 feet. It's probably the difference, I reckon, for some people. Like Joe's getting close to pushing the road.
He's absolutely based it. Loves that zone for approach shots.
Was a bold play, skipping it off the road.
Casual jump putt.
I wonder if that was intentional. We conference to see if he wins by 20 or 19 or whatever it is. A lot. Looks like it's inbounds.
Joe using the old finger ruler to measure that one out.
The ichrometer. Yeah.
What a
money putt.
sick way to finish a tournament with an eagle.
Grabs that eagle that he laid up on the first round.
It's going to be a galaxy frame. Or universal frame, or whatever the kids are calling it
I'm
these
not
days.
sure what it's called, but it's impressive.
Whatever it is, that's better than a star frame. That's an awesome way to finish for our lead card.
Yeah, congrats to Drew for taking it out, coming over, showing us how it's done. Jacko taking out second on 20 under. That's an impressive score.
Just managing to hold Joe off on 17 down. Jaden finishing 4th on 13 down. Ashton, you're right up there in 5th. Good
Yeah.
tournament for you, mate.
Kind of gapped a little bit by the boys up top, but I was happy with that. Mean performance out of Juan as well. Awesome to play on a card with him. Isaac sneaking up there, and yourself.
Yeah, not bad. Not the best last round, but managed to hold on a top 10 finish. Fun fact for you as well, Drew Gibson putting down the best round ever in New Zealand, rated at 1075 for a 15 down. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, so the Bros for Chains Charity Classic, such an awesome event. It's only in its 2nd year so far, and it's already like stepping it up. The players packs that we got for the tournament were amazing. Have a look at these discs from RPM. Got the custom tournament stamp. Look at those swirls on those Kahu XGs. Massive thank you to Bros for Change and RPM for putting on an awesome event, along with a few other sponsors.
Yeah, thanks for Hey Bro, Base Pizza and Spit Roast for an awesome lunch, and Kathmandu for sponsoring the event and the awesome player packs.
And thank you all for watching, and we'll see you at the next one.